Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hari.
The Mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The the ass signs poetry and philosophy sometimes, but the ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma action is meant for yajna sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such mudas, material gains which are destructible are life all in all. Despite the fact that the mudas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor, sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gains. And although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbing working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters. Ignorant of their real master, the foolish workers waste their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of the all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper source. The swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweet meat made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will unflinchingly continue to hear of the sense enjoyable tiding of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world.
So untiringly, they just continue to hear about sense enjoyable things. So they don't have time even to eat also. They are so busy. They work so hard. It's not necessary that every hard working person enjoys. Enjoyment is completely dependent on one's fortune. If somebody is working very hard, it's not necessary he's going to enjoy. He'll work very hard, he'll have a wonderful bungalow. In that bungalow, some maid servant will be enjoying. So it's not necessary a person who works hard only enjoys. If it is not there in his karma, he'll only work like donkey. He is not interested to hear about Lord because he doesn't have time. He doesn't have time to eat his own food. Now, another class of people are Dushkrutis. Dushkrutis people are Naradhamas, the lowest of the mankind. He has got opportunity, but he doesn't want to utilize. He has got the fortune, but he doesn't want to utilize. He has got a birth in a very nice family where he can cultivate devotional service, but he doesn't want to do that. They are known as Naradhamas. Okay, Devaki Mataji, have you got the book with you? You all can on your videos.
Yes, I have got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can on your videos.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll continue. Another class of Duskriti or miscreant is called the Naradhama or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adhama means the lowest. Out of the 8,400,000 different species of living beings, there are 4 lakh human species. Out of this, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principles must be considered Naradhamas. nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with Him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above Him and that He is the supreme truth. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as an Aradhama. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation in brackets, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship Him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. It is the duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 process of reformatory ceremonies, as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is a guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashrama. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradhama. When the whole population becomes Naradhama, naturally all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of physical nature. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees an equal terms the learned Brahmana, the dog, the cow, the elephant, and the dog eater. That is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradhamas, the brothers Jagai and Madai, and showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradama, who is condemned by the personality of Godhead, can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest among human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only. But unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages, and what to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord. Naradamas, or the lowest of the mankind, will fully neglect the prime duty of the human being.
So suddenly Prabhupada includes about the vision of a learned Brahmana. So learned Brahmana, Panditaha Samadarshinaha, how is he? He sees everybody on the equal terms. But that doesn't mean that he tells the cows to enter or the dog to enter the temple and sit before. No. He sees Paramatma in each and everyone. That is how the vision is equal. But he knows how to deal. At the same time, he has compassion. He sees everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. That is why he has the highest compassion. If he sees a dog, he can see the soul, the spirit spark in the dog's body. If he sees an elephant, he can see the spirit spark in the elephant's body. That is how he can relate every living entity with Krishna, because he knows Mamai Vanshu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. That is why he has a compassionate attitude. So here Nityananda Prabhu has been spoken. Nityananda Prabhu even delivered Jagai in Madai. They are counted as Naradhamas because they were born in a Brahmin family. But instead of learning the scriptures, propagating the scriptures, what they were doing, they were only against the holy name. To such an extent, when Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, when they come, they plead, please chant Lord's name. They were so angry. they threw something like broken pot towards Nityananda. Nityananda got hurt on his forehead. So these people are Naradhamas. They've got the opportunity. For that, who is responsible? The parents are responsible. If the parents are not giving sanskaras to the children, then they are going to become Naradhamas. That is why 10 important sanskaras are very, very important. That is going to take them closer to devotional service or devotional path. Srila Prabhupada says if this 10 sanskaras which is given in the Varnashrama system is not followed, then they will lead their life like an animal. Yesterday I had gone to a class. There one of the old man says to me, first we have to improve the female section, the mother section. If mother section is improved, then automatically men has to improve because men, they follow the path of the woman. I was laughing. Yes, that is true. In Kali Yuga, the woman becomes a leader and the husband will follow. That is why it's a woman who has to show the direction. You may say nobody is listening to what I say. They may not listen, but they may appreciate you. That is why they are loving you. They appreciate you. But the stubbornness is there. So for some time, they will show as if they don't want to hear from you. At the same time, they're interested. Understand, they're interested in the path which you have taken. That is why they are not objecting to the process what you are doing. The next class of Dushkruti is called Maya Prahutta Jnana. Those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the illusory energy. That means their knowledge is completely covered by Maya. For them, everything is matter. Like I told the story of the demons, Mathu and Kaita. They prayed, Lord, that they should not die in matter. Because for them, they were not knowing anything except matter. As a present day scientist, for them, everything is matter. To such an extent, God is God particle. Like something, atom is a particle, molecule is a particle. In the same way, for them, God is also one particle, God particle. They have invented God particle. So such people, or you can say such scientists whose only knowledge is just matter. They don't know anything beyond matter. For them, even God is also matter. Such people are Maya Pratagyana. That is why they see God's body also to be made up of matter. That impersonal Brahman has manifested in a human form. Krishna says, Namam Dushkutino Mulaha. These are all Mulas. Manusham, Krishna says, they think that I have taken a Manusham Rupam. In this way, for them, everything is just matter. That impersonal Brahman, if you see, there are some commentaries in Bhagavad Gita which speaks like this. The impersonal Brahman has manifested in a human form and is some supernatural power. And he is God himself. His body is completely transcendental, though it seems to be like one of us. But it's completely transcendental. Komalam, Komalangi is Komalam. Our all body is not Komalam, it's like a scrubber. But Krishna's body is completely Komalangi. Okay, Aruna, read from here.
They are mostly full. I'll read. Okay. The next class of the Shruti is called Maya Prahata Jnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusionary material energy. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literary scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. There are great number of Maya Prahata Jnana at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Sri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is the root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. The super soul in every entity is his plenary portion. He is the fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Prarata Jnana deride the personality of the Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Prahrita Jnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. Hare Krishna.
So they become the stumbling blocks, Maya Pratyajnana. This such type of knowledge is a stumbling blocks for self-realization. The last class of person, Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha, Asuris. The Asuras, they consider themselves as God. They will never surrender to Krishna. So for them, everything is who? Themselves, Asuram Bhavam. Okay, they are known as atheists. They're actually atheists. They don't consider God. They don't accept the supremacy of Lord. Okay, Aswani Prabhu, you please read. Aswani Prabhu,
Yes, Mata. Just 1 minute.
keep your videos on, everyone's
Yes,
video on.
The last class of Drustik is called Asuram Bhavam Askrita, or those of
Ashritaha.
demon Ashita.
Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha.
Asuram Bhavan Asrita, or those
Ashritaha.
of Ashita, or those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reason as to why not. They are not others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will prevent a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons who are very principle of life is to decry the personality of Godhead, cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Yamunacharya Alabandaru of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowingly to persons involved with atheistic principles, despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personality being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your acknowledgement by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science, you are severely
Your
qualities.
voice. Your
Therefore,
voice.
one,
Keep a bit audio proper.
Therefore, one, grossly foolish persons; two, the lowest of mankind; three, the deluded spectators; and four, the professed atheists, as above mentioned, never subscribe unto the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, in spite of all spiritual and authoritarian advices. Hare Krishna.
So Yamunacharya Alabandaru, what did he say? You will never be appreciated by those who are provoked with these atheistic principles. So there are so many scholars who have understood the glories of Krishna. In spite of their glorifying also, there are asuric people who will never consider even the principles given by great acharyas. Now Krishna says, okay, 4 types of people will never come to Krishna. Krishna has already declared them. So still we can try out. Prabhupada tried out. It's devotees who can try out. But Krishna clearly has said they will not come. Why are you trying out? But sometimes seeing the efforts of the devotees, Krishna may bestow devotion onto them just by seeing the efforts of the devotees. Even an atheistic person can become Krishna conscious if devotees really pray for them. That is the power of devotion. So devotees, they challenge Krishna. Oh Krishna, you may say they will not come. Let us try out. Anyhow, you fulfill the desire of the devotees. So please fulfill that. such people become Krishna conscious. Those who are not interested, let them also become Krishna conscious. So the only thing what a devotee can do is sincerely pray to Krishna. Not that one saying, hey, nice, see, foolish person. Hey, see, asuric person. See this Maya Pralapadhyana. See this person, he is completely Naradhama. So we should not say that. If we are in the path of devotional service, we should not speak that. In fact, we have to have compassion and a concern. So we cannot just say, Krishna has already told why you should try out. We can try out. And Krishna's mercy is there. Yes. Krishna's mercy is onto the devotees. Understand it very nicely. Krishna is merciful for everyone. But Krishna is merciful to the devotees, seeing the efforts of the devotees, even in Naradhama, can take up devotional service. So that is why every day sincerely pray to Krishna. If somebody is not listening to devotional service, okay, just sincerely pray for him. That much we can. We can sincerely pray, oh Krishna, please shower your mercy onto him. Now, 4 types of people are sure to come to Krishna. That 4 types of people come to Krishna. Not sure, they come to Krishna. Why they come to Krishna? Let us see. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukridorjura arto jigyasvartharti jnani cha bharatarshava. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukridorjuna arto jigyasvartharti jnani cha bharatarshava. Raksha Mataji chant.
Yes, Mataji. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrutinorjuna arto jigyasvartharthi jnanim cha bharata sharva.
4 types of people. Sukruti. They have got that Sukruti. What is the meaning of Sukruti? Sukruti is something beyond karmas. It is beyond bad karma, good karma. Sukruti means knowingly, unknowingly. He has done something related to Krishna. That is why he has got that opportunity. Nina, Haribol, you are able to hear? Haribol?
Yes,
My
Mataji.
connectivity.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Okay.
Okay. Chaturvidha bhajanti mam janaha sukruti. So they have got Sukruti. That Sukruti, what is that Sukruti? They can do bhajan. That means they can serve Krishna. Who are those people? Artho. Artho means they are very much in distress. They come to Krishna. They are distressed, they come to Krishna. Like Gajendra. He was caught hold by Graha, the crocodile. At the time, he was just remembering Govinda. He was so much in distress, he called all his family members. None of them came to help, any help. What they can do? He is in the middle of the river and is caught by the Graha. How can all the family members go and help him also? They were unable to do anything. Immediately, he plucked the lotus flower and he remembers his past life, that he was Indradimna king, and he starts worshipping Krishna. He starts praying to Krishna. They are generally known as Artho. But still, they are not categorized as a pure devotee. Why? There is a motive behind. What is that motive? To remove the distress, he has gone to Krishna. So they are, you cannot call them as Shuddha Bhakta, but they are Bhaktas, but they have some motives. So what was that motive? To remove the distress. Jigyasu, inquisitive. Kumaras come in this category. They are all inquisitive. Kumaras, 4 Kumaras, they come in this category, Jigyasu category. Even Sukadeva Goswami also comes in this category. That is Jigyasu. If Lord is so merciful to Putana, Aho Bhakiyam Stanakala Putam, he has given the position of a mother to Putana, then if a person performs devotional service, what will be the position? Inquisitive. So in this way, there is a Jigyasa. And then Artharti. He needs opulence. He needs money. He needs dhana. Dhruv Maharaj, when he was told to go by his stepmother, she did not allow the child to sit on the lap of his father. At that time, he takes a vow that I will go and do the tapasya in such a way that I will get a kingdom which will be bigger than even my great-grandfather Brahma. So that is the prayers which Dhruva did, and he did tapasya. So that is known as Artharthi. And then Jnani. A Jnani knows many things. At least he knows I'm not the body, I'm soul. So sometimes in the category of Jnani, they include even 4 Kumaras, Sukadeva Goswami also in the category of Jnani. Can include them also. So there are Jnanis who know that I'm not the body, I'm soul. So why you are talking? Who is talking? Shilpa, please don't talk. So in this way, there are 4 categories. Okay. You can read. Who will read? Kusum Mataji, you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Perfect. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Shukritanaha, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu defines pure devotion thus: Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karmadhyana anukulyena krishnanu bhaktis uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Continue, Mataji.
Yeah, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyana Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Anyabhilashita Shunyam. He doesn't have any other abhilasha except for chanting the holy name. He has no other abhilasha. Jnana Karmadhyana Vrittam. He is not interested in any speculative knowledge, nor is he interested in any karma, that is fruitive activities. Jnana Karmadhyana Vrittam. Anukulyena. He just does anukula service to Krishna, not pratikul. Anukula, favorable service. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. He follows the footprints of the acharyas. Bhaktir Uttama. This is the Uttama Bhakti. Continue.
When these 4 kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the mystery is concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because there are selfish, irregular spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from material desires. And when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all these before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service.
Okay. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. So as long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service of the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities. So 4 types of people will come to Krishna. Krishna says, for sure they'll come to Krishna. But Artho and Artharthi, no guarantee they will stay or not. Once their distress is done with, they have got the solution, and now they are now removed from the distress, and somebody has got all the benefits. And what he'll do? He'll run away. He will forget bhakti. That is their nature. They'll forget the bhakti. On the contrary, there will be a jnani. He will not go, because jnani, they know what they know, that at least I'm not the body, I'm soul. They know that. So Gajendra is an example for artha. Artho. Artharthi, who is an example of artharthi, that is Dhruv Maharaj. Jigyasu, Shaunakadi Rishi. They are Jigyasus, Shaunakadi Rishi. And when you say Jnani, they at least know I'm not the body, I'm soul. There comes Sukadeva Goswami. Because Sukadeva Goswami, he was completely in Brahman realization. He knew that I'm not the body, I'm soul. But he got attracted to devotional service. He was very much a Brahmavadi. That means he was too much to Brahman realization. Not much to Paramatma, not much to even, you can say Brahman and Paramatma realization, not so much different. But he was not into serving Lord with, though he was Shukha in the past, that is parrot of Radharani. But still, he acts to be a Jnani. He comes in the role of a Jnani. And there his father gives him Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. When he's Bhagavatam, when Chaturshloki Bhagavatam is told at that time, his desire to serve Krishna increases. That is how here it has been told. Sukadeva Goswami is a perfect example of this type. So what they know, Jnanis, they know that I'm not the body, I'm soul. And at the same time, they also know that Krishna is Paramatma who is seated in everyone's heart. That extent Jnani knows. But that Paramatma has a form and the soul can serve the Paramatma very nicely, that is still unknown. But he is inquisitive to know that. That is why he has come in the path of devotional service. Now, among the 4, who is the greatest or who is wonderful? Krishna says that is Jnani. Tesham Jnani Nityayukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate Priyo Hi Jnani Notyartham Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha. So among the 4, no, Artho and Artharthi, they have come with some problems. Now, for them, they can maximum go to the stage of Jigyasu. They can go to that stage. But then, they may give up also. A Jigyasu also may give up. If his Jigyasa is not fulfilled, he may give up. But a Jnani will never give up. Krishna says, of this Jnani who is constantly engaged in thinking of me, who is practicing pure bhakti, at least he knows that I'm not the body, I'm soul. He knows Lord as Paramatma. And this person practices bhakti, and that person is the best. Jnani loves only me and I only love him. Priya hi jnani notyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. What is he doing? Eka bhaktir vishishyate. He is vishishyate. He practices just eka bhakti. That is why it is said, Jnani is considered the best. Why he is the best? Because he is nitya yuktaha. He is always connected. He is eka bhakti. And he has no desire for relieving his sufferings or attaining some wealth or getting some knowledge. He is not interested in all these things. So he is not coming in the category of Artho, Artharthi and Jigyasu. He is always serving Krishna. So in this way, how others are engaged in devotional service till they fulfill their desires. But Jnani doesn't have any desire. That means he is nitya yuktaha. He is always connected. Others are connected only up to some time. Till the desires are fulfilled, they are always with Krishna. After that, they will run away. That is why you find many devotees run away. Because 4 types of people come to Krishna. But a person who doesn't have any material desires still comes to Krishna, that person only will last. Therefore, Krishna says, Jnani is the best. So now, who is an object of love for Jnani? It is Krishna. They love Krishna. And in this way, they are completely surrendered, submerged in the love of Krishna. So in this way, he is Eka Bhaktir. Means he has limited himself only to love Krishna. He doesn't have a big agenda. And in this way, Krishna says, even I love him. He is also my object of affection. Then Krishna very clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamayam. Mama vartmanu vartante manusya paka sarvasya. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. To the extent a person comes to me. So Krishna says, if Artharthi comes to me, I'll also go to him to such an extent. If Jnani is completely dedicated to me, then I also love him. So there is always an equal reciprocation. Whatever a person gives, that much Krishna also goes to him. If he walks one step, Krishna also walks one step towards him. If he runs away from Krishna, Krishna also runs away from him. That is the equal reciprocation which Krishna has given. Now still Krishna, somebody can say, what is this? Artha is also nice. He has come to Krishna now. Krishna says, yes, they are all Udara. Udara means a broad-hearted. At least they have not gone to some Devatas. They could have gone to them Devatas also to get their wishes fulfilled. But they have not done that. They have come to Krishna. That is why in the next verse Krishna says, Udara, this word Udara. That means all are Udara, everyone. Udara sarva evaite, Jnani tva atma eva me matam. Though all are Udara, but Jnani is my soul, Krishna says. Yes, Jnani is my soul. Why? Astitaha sahi yuktatma. He is always situated in my devotion. And Mam evanu tamam katim. He has considered me as the goal of life. That is why I consider Jnani to be my soul, Krishna says. We say my soul is Krishna. I am soul, my soul is Krishna. The soul of the soul is Krishna. But Krishna says my soul is Jnani. Which Jnani? Who is always connected to me. So here we are not talking about the Jnani who are just interested in I am not the body, I am soul. The Jnani who are interested in knowing Krishna as the Param Gatim. So 4 types of people come to Krishna. And Krishna says, out of which, who is the most important? Krishna says, the Jnani is most important. Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. Okay, Ram Krishna Prabhu, please read. Ram Krishna Prabhu was there. Okay, Kapil Prabhu, please read. Start. Kapil Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 18, Mataji.
17.
17. Purport.
18, Prabhuji. 18, Mataji, 18.
Udara.
Where we have read or what?
17 we have
purport?
not read. 17, correct, Mataji. 17.
Purport. Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after the supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a real pure devotee of the Lord. And of the 4 orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is the same time engaged in the devotional service is the Lord says the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from the material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to the eternal servant of God. So by the association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. By in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in the pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of God is so protected in devotional service that material contamination cannot touch him. Hare Krishna.
So among the 4 types of people, Krishna loves Jnanis. Why? Because in that four type of people, there is a chance of uh, uh, jikyasu or maybe artho or arthati. They may give up devotional service, but jnani will never, because eka bhaktir vishishyate. Like Krishna says, everybody is udara only, any of they have come to Krishna. But then Krishna says, he who is in full knowledge, that is jnani, I consider him as my atma. Udara sarve vete jnani tvatmeva me matam astitah sahi yuktatma ma vevanuttamam gatim. His goal is to attain me. That is why I consider him to be the topmost. Okay, Parina Mataji, please read perfect. Video is on. Suddenly I will feel now you are in the class.
Yes,
Classroom. Or you are be sleeping and I will be sitting.
purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. The Lord says that all are magnanimous because anyone who comes to the Lord for any purpose is called a Mahatma or great soul. The devotees who want some benefit out of devotional service are accepted by the Lord because there is an exchange of affection. Out of affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit. And when they get it, they become too satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. But the devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. Such a devotee cannot live a second without contacting or serving the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is very fond of his devotee and cannot be separated from him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68, the Lord says, Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhunam hridayam swaham, padanyatte na jananti, naham tebhyo managati. The devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in the hearts of the devotees. The devotee does not know anything beyond me, and I also cannot forget the devotee. There is a very intimate relationship between me and the pure devotee. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of spiritual touch, and therefore they are very much dear to me.
So this verse is very important. Sadhu hridayam mayam sadhu nam hridayam tabham. Madanyatena janati. I don't know anybody except, they don't know anybody except me. Naham tebhyo managapi. Even I don't know anybody except them. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of spiritual touch. Therefore, they are very, very dear to me, Krishna says. Devotees does not know anything beyond me. Madanyatena janati. The same way, Naham tebhyo managapi. Naham tebhyo. Even na aham. Even I don't know anybody except them. Sadhavo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tuham. Sadhus stay in my heart. The devotees always stay in my heart. And I am also present in their heart. What a loving transaction you just see. In this material world, can you find such love? Devotees are always in the heart of Krishna, and Krishna is always staying in the heart of devotees. And Krishna says that they don't know anybody except me. Mad anyad tena janati. They don't know anybody except me. Mad anyad tena janati. Now in Vrindavan, in Brajavasis, they don't know anybody except Krishna. Even any danger is there, they only go to Krishna. Though they say, oh, Narayan protected us. But still they used to not go to Narayan. They used to go to Krishna only. And when after Krishna protects them, then they used to say, oh, Narayana protected. It's only because of all our pious activities, somehow a child is protected by Narayana. But if they want protection, they only go to Krishna. Mad anyad nitiyena janati. They don't know anybody except Krishna. At the same time, they don't know Krishna is Narayana. And Narayana comes before them, they are asking, where is our Krishna? That means they don't have any consideration for Narayana also. For them, everything is Krishna. So mad anyatena janati naham tebhyo managapi. Even I don't know anybody except him. So now the jnanis who are eka bhaktir vishishyate, that has been given eka bhaktir vishishyate. Udara means that all are generous. Yes, they have accepted Krishna, they have come to Krishna at least. Krishna says, akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaridhi tivrena bhakti yogyana yajeta paramam param. So even if there is no desire, go to Krishna, akamo. You have full desire, still you go to Krishna. Now, if the association of devotees are there, then that artho and artharthi will come to the stage of jigyasu. And then slowly from the jigyasu, they come to the stage of jnani, eka bhakti vishishyate. That is why the association of devotees is very, very important. The more we hear, though we may have come with any motives to Krishna, but all that motives becomes insignificant. Like when Dhruv Maharaj, when the Lord comes before Dhruv Maharaj, then Dhruv Maharaj says, hey, why did I do all this? Krishna said, I'm going to give a bigger planet, the most biggest planet, even than your grandfather, great-grandfather. He says, actually, I was just asking some piece of glasses, actually. All these material desires are just compared to pieces of glass, which can be broken any time. But you are such a diamond who is present before us. But instead of asking you, my foolish mind was asking only some pieces of glass. So when the more hearing happens, then one considers, actually I came for what sake and what I have gone. I have got such a nice, wonderful treasure. And the treasure is Krishna name. A person gets Krishna name, there can be nothing beyond Krishna name. So in this way, Krishna says, Udara, they were all generous only. Anyhow, they came to me. But Jnani Twatmivat me matam. Twa Atma. He is my Atma. I consider him to be my soul. Twatmaha me matam. Astitah is always connected to me. He's always working for me. Astitah Sayuktatma. So he's always connected to me. So that is why Mameva Anuttamam Gatim. Anuttamam. Anuttama means the highest goal is to attain Krishna. So that is why Krishna considers him like his soul. Okay. So we'll stop here. Any questions you can ask? Because next verse is a very important verse where Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan will be speaking about. Yes. Kusum Mataji, you have doubt?
No, Mataji, sorry. No, Mataji, don't know.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Kapil here.
Yeah.
Mataji, hearing and reading. So listening or reading. So hearing or listening has given more, makes more impact. I just wanted to wanted you to highlight a little bit on this. Reading and hearing.
Shushushoshadanasya Vasudeva Katharujihi Syatmah Sevya Vipra Punyakirtan Shevana Shunutam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Adantastoy Bhadrani Vidunoti. So
Can't hear you, Mataji.
more we hear, all our inauspiciousness can go away. Hearing has more impact than directly reading. When we read, we may concoct many things. When we hear from a proper authority under the disciplic succession, then we can understand the subject matter, which becomes clear after reading. More we read, it becomes more clear. So just reading will not give, because when you are hearing, what you are hearing, the knowledge which comes through the disciplic succession. It is not somebody is concocting and saying. Some examples will be given by the practical knowledge, but the main principle which they have heard from their authorities, the authority has heard from his authority. In this way, it flows down. So everywhere, hearing process has been emphasized. Even Rukmini, she heard about Krishna, then only she fell in love with Krishna. She did not read about Krishna. First, she heard about Krishna. Then she fell in love. So automatically, by hearing, your love for Krishna is recharged, revives.
हरे कृष्णा माताजी। माताजी, ज्ञानी कैटेगरी में 4 कुमारा आएंगे कि जिज्ञासु में आएंगे? ज्ञानी में
शौनक ऋषि ज्ञानी 4 कुमारस।
हाँ, ज्ञानी में आएंगे ना?
ज्ञानी।
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the आपने अच्छे से समझाया माता।
और किसी का क्या डाउट?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. I have a doubt.
या
See, the one seeking knowledge is considered as pure devotee and more dear to Krishna. But what happens is that when we are trying to understand this knowledge, it's very difficult. For example, this Bhagavad Gita. Many a times we can't, I don't know, I have not been able to apply many things. So sometimes it results in a frustration also. Whether Krishna will really listen to the prayers, whether we are qualified, all these doubts come in mind, Mataji. So, what to do? And
so that is
secondly,
how
yeah, I have one more doubt. See, you
Hmm.
said that we have to guide our children, huh? But sometimes, once they are a teenager, it becomes very difficult, to make them continue this chanting. I have found it very difficult with my child, at least. What is to be done for that also? Yeah. Yes.
So whether my services are accepted by Krishna or not, that's a big doubt. I am doing this, whether Krishna likes it or not. He likes it or he doesn't like it. We don't bother about it.
Okay.
I tell you a nice story behind this.
Huh.
There was Ananta Alvar. Now, Ananta Alvar was given a strict instruction that as soon as you pluck the flowers, you make the garland and then give it to Krishna. Ramanujacharya gives his instruction. Now he is making the flowers, and Krishna has ordered the pujari, the priest called Ananta Alvar. Ananta Alvar says, ask Krishna to wait, I'm making flowers. So he goes to Krishna with the flowers. Krishna says, you are very disobedient. I am calling you, you don't come. I don't want your flowers. Get us from here. He says, I'm not going to go anywhere. Because anyhow, you are also in a rented place. I am also in a rented place. If you don't want, don't accept, not a problem. Whatever my Acharya has told, I am going to do that. Krishna was so happy seeing the dedication of Ananta Alvar towards Ramanujacharya. It is said Ananta Alvar, Krishna made pranam mantra for Ananta Alvar. So we have not to bother whether Krishna likes or not. It has been told by Srila Prabhupada, just do it. It has been told by our acharyas, just do it.
Okay.
So whether Krishna likes it or not, it is their concern, their contract with Krishna. We are just, I can say, spoon, ladle, whatever, in the hands of our acharyas. The contract has been taken by our acharyas to Krishna, because they are in direct communion. And somehow by mercy of the acharyas, we are all also holding. Prabhupada says, hold my dhoti. I will take you back home.
Oh. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Another
Mataji.
one is
Yeah.
Kaumaram Acharet Pragyaha. Very clearly, it has been said in the 7th canto, 6th chapter, it says, Kaumaram Acharet Pragya. At the age of 5 itself, in fact, before that only, we have to start giving Krishna consciousness to the children. Groom the children in Krishna consciousness. When we become teenage, at that time, if you say chant, we'll say, I'll not do. So then there is a way to make him. You cannot pressurize him. There is a way. Can you bring some flowers for Krishna? Can you bring some apple? He bread, whatever. And you cut the apple. Can you please offer to Krishna? You say, Mama, I don't have time. Please, you do. I brought na. Okay. So then that time you cannot force him, because in the small child, that time you're not told him. So now what you can do, in a friendly mood, very tactfully, in a friendly mode, make prasadam. Who will not like dahi vadas? Today I made appam.
Oh.
Now, who doesn't like appam? Offer it to Krishna. Unni Krishna, no? Unni appam.
Yeah.
So then offer to Krishna and then give it. That is also devotional service. Having prasadam is also devotional service.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी एक प्रश्न ऐसा है कि अगर मेरा एग्जांपल लेती हूँ तो मैं इतनी लेट हो गई हूँ डिवोशनल सर्विस में, तो फिर चिल्ड्रंस का तो सवाल कैसे उठेगा?
आप लेट
I'm already late.
आपका बच्चा तो आपके साथ ही है ना,
हाँ,
उसको तो लेट नहीं है
मेरे
ना। हाँ, तो फिर उसको थोड़ी लेट है, वो तो आपको बचपन से देख रहा है।
नहीं मतलब माता जी मेरी डिवोशनल लाइफ इतनी लेट हो गई है, तो तब जब भी मैं आई तभी वो बड़ी हो गई।
हाँ, तो आपको वेरी टैक्टफुली, जैसे बच्चों में भगवान को फूल बनाओ, कल मेरी मेड सर्वेंट बैठ के भगवान को फूल बना रही थी, ऐसे ही तो सुधारना है। I got lot of flowers. I told, will you make
They
flowers?
are
She said,
doing
yes, I'll make.
indirect service too many, Mataji.
Ah,
Indirect
that's
service
indirect
not
service.
ethical.
Indirect service also gives Sukruti, and somewhere it will shoot up. So give indirect services. Make flowers. Girls who get to make
ma'am.
flowers. If they are very good artists, make some painting for Lord. Something. Engage. And you chant. You do arti. She's hearing, doing arti, playing some songs of Krishna. And here it is going in the years. Playing Hare Krishna Mahamantra of Srila Prabhupada. In the house, Prabhupada mantra should go on. 2 to 4 hours ka mantra. And nobody will say no for that. So the consciousness will be purified. And when right time comes for them, automatically it will happen.
Oh, that's a good idea to
Yes, Mataji.
keep the
Thank you
mantra.
so much, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah. 24 hours mantra.
Thank you. That's a nice idea. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Any
Hare
more
Krishna,
questions?
Madam.
Okay. Vancha kalpatarushya kripa sindhu patithanam pavani